Welcome to the Society. We here at the Lotus Society truly believe in not only taking care of yourself, but taking care of your cards. And that's why today, I'm the caregiver.
And I'm the caress of Phyrexia.
What?
Card care. That's what we're going to talk about today. So, specifically, we're going to talk about how to protect the cards that you're using to play with. We're not going to go over binders or storage or anything like that in this video. We'll do that in another one.
Exactly. Really, we're just going to go over how to keep them safe from, natural and unnatural disasters such as water, soda, beer, whatever you can think of.
Yeah. So that being said, sleeving is definitely probably the way to go here.
It's absolutely the most important thing you can do for your cards.
In fact, I believe in the tournaments, you cannot even play an unsleeved deck because if there's any chipping that occurs on the corners of the cards, they consider that marked card.
Exactly.
So that leads us to having to have your card at least single sleeved. I'm sure most of you are familiar with this, but
let's be honest, anyone who's been playing this game long enough can look at their new cards versus their old cards and clearly tell by just looking at the grimy sides and the soft marked chipped edges. Those old cards were used before sleeves were a thing. Then everyone smartened up and now everyone uses sleeves.
Yeah, especially with those white bordered cards.
Oh, the white bordered cards get so disgusting.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So Exhibit A, standard sleeve. I believe this is a Dragon Shield sleeve. We're not going to go too much into brands or any product reviews here. This is just going to be about the protection itself. So that being said, let's sleeve this card. There we go. One protected card, Exhibit A. Now, this will definitely get you going. You can do tournaments now with this.
Yeah, you can shuffle to your heart's content and not really have that big of a problem, depending on how you shuffle.
Except for the dreaded split sleeves.
Oh, yeah.
Which is about product, and we'll go over that maybe in the future, but for this video, a single sleeve is really going to get you going. That being said, this is just an island. Nice Kaladesh island. What if this was, I don't know, let's say a Judge Foil Wheel of Fortune.
All right, yeah, so you want to protect that card. That is an expensive card.
You know, what if that was, let's tone it down a little bit. What if that was just a Force of Will, non-foil?
Either way, you don't want to waste that. Like, you don't want anything damaging that. You don't want water getting in, nothing.
Well, we definitely wouldn't want to waste that. What if it was only like a $30 wasteland?
You know what? Even if it's only a $5 rare, I don't want it getting wet.
That's a good point. So while this is definitely good and this is going to get you going, what we ultimately have to do is try to figure out how we can mitigate water damage.
Exactly.
Being probably the biggest problem amongst all paper card games. That brings us to Exhibit B, which is going to be kind of your standard Dragon Shield Perfect Fit, KMC Perfect Fit, pretty much any of those varieties.
Yeah, it seems like we're really pushing for Dragon Shield. We just happen to have Dragon Shield on us at the time. Really, any of the companies that make perfect fit sleeves tend to do a good job.
So, these are definitely going to, they fit very tight to the card. You're going to have good protection. You put them in upside down for those that don't know. I'm sure everyone knows.
Now, why do you put them in upside down?
Well, the point of this was so that the top of the card, if exposed to the air, because as you know, sometimes these even flare open over time, it won't let the air get to it, air being the biggest factor. Now, not so much with non-foils. Foils really are the biggest issue here when it comes to protecting.
Yeah, causing that curling issue when the air gets to it.
Yeah, you definitely want to mitigate that. Granted, this will create just general, like, any moisture just kind of goes to the top. All of your cards are going to be pretty protected unless you pour something directly in here. And we're going to do some testing and let you guys make the decision here. But that's definitely a good way to go. The next one, and I don't have a sealed product here for you, but I'm sure you've all seen this. These are the side loaders. I think these are actually also Dragon Shield, but it doesn't matter.
They might be. I don't fully remember. But what I personally like about these side loaders is some sleeves are really tight. And so when you're trying to put those inner protective sleeves on, and you try and slide them into the really tight sleeves, you get a problem where it's pushing the protective inner sleeve off,
Okay.
and it really just becomes a bit of a hassle. This makes it a lot easier to inner sleeve and then slide into any type of normal outer protective sleeve.
I mean, I do like that. That's definitely a really good point. And, I mean, there's definitely some sleeves that have problems with legion, and, you know, that's definitely a really good point. Now, till recently, this was pretty much it. These were your choices, either side, top loader. Then they did some adhesive, like sealing ones, but then you ended up with a deck that was stacked on a slant because of the slightly raised.
Yeah, it was a great idea. It just didn't work out that well.
Which leads us to these. I'm sure some of you have seen these already. These are the perfect fit Dragon Shield, and I think they're the only manufacturer of this type.
I believe
currently.
they are. They're the only ones that I've seen, and I'm going to admit it, they're my favorite.
I think of definitely the best protection, but we're going to do some testing and actually see if that's true here.
Yeah. So why don't you go ahead and show them on the card what that actually looks like.
So what this does is actually seals this edge, this edge, this edge, this edge, and the back. And the way these work is there's a little flap that comes out here. So you slip your card in there, and then you just basically have to take the flap, stick it in there. It's hard to do this while on camera.
Yeah, and that's the thing. This does take a little bit extra time per card. It takes a little bit of dexterity, but once you get a couple in, you start getting into a rhythm, and it goes by pretty fast. And honestly, what's an extra couple seconds when you're talking about cards that could be worth up to hundreds of dollars?
Or, you know, if we're talking original vintage alpha cards, like we'd be talking a lot of money.
Yeah.
Granted, I don't know about you guys, I wouldn't be playing with alpha cards. Those would go in my safe, and I'd be playing with the, you know,
a nice high-end proxy.
Yeah, either a proxy or I would play with like 3rd edition, you know, something like that. You know, we're not gonna go too crazy here. But what's nice about this is it completely seals in the card. So as long as you're doing this in, you know, an environment where you're sealing your cards, where you're not, you know, I don't know, in Jacksonville, Florida, where it's crazy steamy heat.
Yeah, exactly.
And you have to walk around in your boxers.
Humidity all over the place. You can't even put pants on. Yeah, no, I get it.
So if that's going to be the case, then yeah, maybe not use these, because you're going to be sealing that humidity in with your card. Granted, it will be protected then afterwards.
Yeah, and we'll talk about this in maybe a future video in a couple days on how to deal with that humidity.
Move out of Florida.
Yeah, move out of Florida. You know, maybe other products. But what we're gonna do next is we're gonna take these 4 cards, Exhibit A through D, and we're gonna submerge them in some water and see what happens.
We're gonna waterboard the cards.
We're waterboarding the cards.
We're gonna waterboard the islands.
We're waterboarding the cardboard islands.
So I think it's time to waterboard now that we got everything set up.
Yeah. So this is going to simulate if you were to have a atrocious spill of throwing your cards, I don't know, in a pool or something.
Or if you just store your cards in a fish tank.
Yeah. So what we're going to do is we're going to go with in reverse order. We're going to put the most heavily sleeved card in first, and then every other card on top of it, and then see how things turn out.
All right.
So right here we got Exhibit D. Go ahead and stick it down there. Exhibit C. Yeah, get it all nice and coated.
Make sure.
Yeah,
give it
flip
a couple flippies.
Yeah. There you go. B. And
Do you think the islands like being in their home?
Oh, maybe. And you know what? I don't even think we need to flip A around. Let's just plop it on there and go ahead and put a nice crystal skull on top to keep them safe.
You just have those laying around?
I just have those laying around, yeah.
Oh, okay. Well.
Yeah, so for when you accidentally...
Oh, they're too powerful.
They're too powerful.
These islands are restricting.
Oh, no.
All right,
there we go. To, again, simulate when you drop your cards and then you knock over a water or a soda, and then a crystal skull comes out of nowhere and just holds it down right in the water.
like some kind of jerk.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so this would obviously be worst case scenario.
Exactly.
And obviously, your manufacturer of different products may change these results a little bit, but this is just to get you a general idea.
Yeah. So really, you want to minimize as much damage as possible, and realistically, it's not 100% infallible. Like even the best inner sleeves are gonna have some damage depending on what you do.
Yeah. I mean, I wish laminating the cards was an option sometimes.
Oh God, that was so nice.
It's just kind of not. It's just really not an option.
Exactly. So, would you say that this is worst case scenario at this
I
point?
mean, I would say this is like you had your deck box on the floor. Someone dumped an entire fish tank into your deck box, and you just were blissfully unaware of it because you were, just doing nothing. You were just sitting around and counting your tacos or something. I don't know.
All right. So let's go ahead and remove the crystal skull and see what happens here.
All right. So, I'm even going to take my time with this.
Yeah.
A. Why don't you assess A here?
Let's see. A is, nice and wet all over. Look at this. It's just, it's falling apart.
Oh man, it's reached the toilet paper conundrum.
It's terrible. Now this part's not bad. It's nice and fine, but oh God.
The edges are ruined.
Look at that. It's just destroyed. All right, let's go to Exhibit B, which has the regular inner sleeve just put in top down.
Yep.
All right, so we're going to pop that out. Wow, okay, so...
Pretty wet.
The sleeve's wet, but the card itself... is not bad. It's pretty dry. Actually, better than I thought. You're got a little damage down there. I don't know if you can see it.
Definitely damage at the bottom. You know what? Maybe even a little bit on the edges. Look, it's seeped up here.
Yeah, it seeps a little bit. I don't
know if you guys can see, but let's try to get this little reflection here. Do you see the damage on the edges here? In fact, if I just use my finger and kind of make it a little worse, just so you can see how easy that
definitely peels away.
Yeah, so that's damage.
That doesn't give me much hope for this side loading one.
Side loader?
Side loader. Oh, I can already see the damage inside this. The side loader's horrendous. So, all right, it's easier to load, but man, look at that.
It's given a lot more surface area, for all that water to get in. So the whole side.
It's nothing. It's made of nothing now.
Oh, man.
All right.
So, will this be our savior?
God, I hope so. Now, again, this is the Dragon Shield Perfect Fit new ones that kind of fold over and protect on all sides.
They're called sealables.
Yeah. Now, we put this in first, so it is, and took it out last, so it has been the longest in the water. So let's go ahead.
It's definitely wet.
We'll treat it like we would if we were trying to protect it, right?
Trying to save it until we just, massacre the cards with our fingers.
Yeah. Well, here, I'll dry my fingers too. Thank you.
Welcome.
Okay. What do you think the result's going to be?
Oh, I don't know. I'm very curious. Good torture test. I always enjoy torture tests.
I can't get my fingers into this.
Well, it sounds like a personal problem.
It's damn near perfect.
Really?
It is damn near perfect. You inspect it. I was expecting a little bit of moisture that would damage, but...
I am very surprised. I thought for sure, the way these go together, I thought we'd have a little seepage right in the corners.
But nothing.
Nothing. I don't know. Once again, don't know if this camera's going to pick it up, but we'll give you...
Show the front, too.
I think the back's the best way to tell, but we will show you the front as well. I don't see any water damage, especially not...
Yeah, this is perfect. We saved this card with those awesome Dragon Shield sleeves. So I would say that this is the best way to protect your cards and make sure nothing happens, right?
Yeah. And arguably... And this would be our control, right? No sleeve at all.
Yeah, no sleeve. We never did that.
The card sank. That can't be good.
Does anyone think that this card is going to be dry when we take it out?
It already looks moist and wet.
Oh yeah, it's done.
Which this gets into storage.
Storage is very important.
How you store your cards. I mean, yeah, that's extreme. Water destroys everything in a house. It's true. But that being said, humidity can have effects too. And had these been foils, not only would we have seen some different results,
but we would have seen some bending,
a lot of bending, a lot of curving. And this water, by the way, is I'd say it's a little chilled. It's not warm or anything.
Yeah.
That being said, temperature is a whole nother thing.
Exactly. Now that's something I think we're gonna have to go into in our next video.
I agree.
But yes, temperature and humidity are very important, and there's a lot of ways that you can combat that.
So, unsleeved ain't an option.
Nope.
I think the Dragon Shield one was...
The Dragon Shield was
The
perfect.
sealable was good.
It was perfect. Nothing happened to it. It was great.
Until you threw it in the water. Side ones. Side ones pretty rough.
Ones are terrible.
Gives you a huge surface for all that water to get in.
Yeah.
Granted, you know, even down here on the edges, there's a little bit of
water, yeah.
even down there. And yeah, we took our sweet time coming out, and yeah, this is worst case scenario, but still.
Really, those new Dragon, what are they called again? Dragon sealables are just the way to go.
I think that is definitely what we've deduced for sure. Now, so we've definitely gone over some sleeving. I'm sure you all sleeve your decks. Maybe you'll consider at least throwing some special sleeves on some of them. What else should we get into?
Well, I think we're gonna have to talk about a lot of things. We're gonna have to talk about some storage. We're gonna have to talk about temperature control, humidity control, and proper shuffling.
Proper shuffling. You know what else I think we should go over?
What?
Is how you store them as far as orientation.
Yes, orientation, surprisingly enough, is very important. But you know what? I think we're going to have to go into that in our next video.
You know, that's a good point. So, let's just, clean up this mess here. And until next time, keep them salty.
Tap them down.